Hello, YouTube. Marco here. Today I'd like to go back in time a little bit. Um, I would say 2015. I was driving around this country with a Prius with a diamond plated trailer. And I gotta say, that diamond plated trailer, brand spanking new. I was so excited. It locked so nice. Everything was safe and secure in there. Lasted 1 year. That China metal steel, it's not like US steel. It's weak. But anyways, enough on that. Um, Now, as far as lithium batteries go, I've got 7 of them. No problem so far, and I've had them 2 years, and they've been running all the time. So, and I've had, and I'll go into that later. I won't go into that now. Um, so, why did I do the Prius and the trailer? For a couple of reasons. First of all, I put and I'm going to back off. I'm kind of, don't want to get that close to me. I put a inverter, 2000-watt inverter in the Prius. Now, the nice thing about the Prius, and a remote start. So here's my setup. I would set the tent up. I would put my air mattress in, and I could set the tent and air mattress in quicker than I could check into a hotel room. So the air mattress is up. I set the table next to it. I put my coffee machine next to it, my coffee maker. I put my little space heater in there, and then I hang my little clothes rack in there. It's a bedroom. It's perfect. And then I ran an extension cord from the Prius to the tent. There's my power to run the heater or the coffee maker. Now, I didn't want to run both of those at the same time because I would be pushing it too much. But anyways, what I would do is I would lie in bed in the morning, and it would get down 50 degrees at night, so it was chilly. But I had one of those old Vietnam sleeping bags. That one went 40 below. So if it didn't matter, as long as that sleeping bag was dry, I wasn't going to be cold. I mean, there's times where all you could see was my nose sticking out there, and then I'd have to turn my head to warm my nose back up. But when I'd wake up in the morning, I would reach over and hit the coffee pot and go back to sleep. And then it'd wake me up gurgling, it's brewing coffee. So then I'd reach over and I'd turn it off, and then I'd turn the heater on. And then 5 minutes later, it's nice and warm in the tent. Boom, good to go. So the nice thing about the Prius was it wouldn't run the car all the time. Now, I'm in the tent, and when I wake up in the morning, I said I'd turn this on, turn that on. I'd hit the remote start on the Prius. And then the Prius would boot up, and then it would shut off until the battery needed charged up. And then I would turn the inverter on. And it wouldn't run the car all the time. A lot of times it would just run off the battery. I think I figured it out at the time that if I was to heat the tent all night long, it would cost me about $5. So if that's a worst case scenario, but with that sleeping bag, I didn't need it. I was in great shape. But anyways, the economics of the Prius and the trailer, and I still love many things about it. Many things about it because you can go places that you can't go with anything else. It was fantastic. I really got to a lot of very cool places with that Prius. Now, granted, I put a lot of traveling on that Prius, but at 44 miles to the gallon, that's the time to do it. So I was covering a lot of country at the time. So yeah, I was getting 44 miles per gallon towing that camper. The problem with the tent, well, let's tent sites. Oh, the nice thing too, when you travel with the tent, it's usually free or it's dirt cheap. And when you're staying at a place that's dirt cheap, then you've got the shower and the washing machines and water and all that stuff. So, and I didn't need electricity because my Prius, that was the best generator in the world to me at the time. Safety. I was in Santa Ynez, California, and I was deep into the woods. Beautiful California. Erie was getting dumped on in snow, and I'm out there thinking about it every day. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm here. But it was gorgeous. The daytimes were 68, 70 degrees. But I was camped there, and I went to set my tent up, and I thought, ooh, that's a gorgeous place below all those grove of trees. And they weren't real big trees, but they were beautiful armed trees with gorgeous greenery on them. But it looked like that if it would rain, the water was going to go right through there. So I went up the hill a little bit and started setting up my tent. I just got it set up. It only takes a minute because that was a quick setup tent. And just as quick as I set it up, bees were all around me. And on the back side of the tree there was a nest. So I just kind of dragged it out of there. And then I went underneath the grove and checked the weather, and no rain in sight. So I would just have to watch the weather a little bit closer. But I set my tent up, and then next morning, my nephew says, "Hey, Uncle," well, let's back up. I'm in the tent, and I hear noise above me in the tree above me. So I grab the pole of the tree, of the tent, and shake it, and get out of here. And then I'd hear it come down and go. I thought, that's a cat. That's a cat. And the next morning, my nephew came to visit me, and my nephew, he's 40 years old, says, "Hey, Uncle Mark, you got cat claws going up and down out of this tree." Well, I either had a bobcat or a puma above me, but it made me think about my safety. All I had in there was mace, and I don't want mace spraying inside my tent. So then I got a buck knife, and if somebody's going to have a claw here, I'm going to have the biggest claw. But I didn't have any problems after that. But every time I would go on a walk down this trail, a quarter mile down, up in the tree, there was a bobcat sitting up there watching me go by, and I'd say good morning, and it was like we were just old friends. Which is a little tip. If you act like you don't even see the animals, after about the third day, they start feeling comfortable with you. One will show itself, and then if nothing happens to that one, then others will present themselves too. The problem with tent camping. You drag a lot of sand in, but the big thing is, tents are hard to stake down once you get west of Kansas, even in Kansas. The drier, harder ground is just difficult to set tents up on. So I eventually started tying it to, if there was a tree around a tree, and I used my trailer a lot. But I still lost 2 tents. I mean, in Oklahoma, it just took it away. I mean, the mattress, the coffee maker, the heater, everything was gone, except the strings, the ropes to hold it down. Welcome to Oklahoma and the wind. And the second time was in the high plains in Colorado. Same type deal, but it took the strings that time. Broke them off. So that's the problem with that. It's kind of like riding a motorcycle cross country, which I've done too. But you're out there in the elements. So if it's raining, you're in the rain. If it's cold, it's cold. If it's drizzly cold rain, you're drizzly cold. Yeah, there's things you can help with that, with heated hand grips and heated seats, but you're in the elements, and I'm too old for that crapola. So what I ended up doing after losing the second tent, I bought lag nuts, and my power drill, I drilled the lags into the ground, and that made it a lot easier and faster to set up and down. That was the thing about tenting, is it takes time. But I had the quick connect. I mean, you couldn't do it any quicker than I was doing it. And I was all over the place. I mean, I was all over this country in that Prius and that trailer. Fun times. Fun times. Made a lot of friends too. But anyways, if you have any questions about it, oh, the Prius, if you have to, I'm 6'3", and if you fold down that back seat, two of me could sleep back there. Um, but I had the tent and everything, so I didn't need to. So the Prius was plenty big for what I was doing. But so yeah, if you have any questions about that, where I stayed and things like that, let me know. Hey, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, thanks for visiting. Bye bye.